The last video we discussed how to batch our analyses and how to combine tracks for an overall genome view from a large number of specimens that we would run through. But the tracks aren't the only thing that we can batch like that, collect and distribute. We can also do that with some of the reports and tables that come out of this analysis. And in particular, it's nice to do that for some of the mapping QC results and not only batch that report and combine that report across multiple samples, but also export that as a, say, Excel file where you can manually look at that, add other metadata, maybe do some filtering or some other changes. So we're going to demonstrate that today. So let's just clean up a little bit from last time. Oops, we're going to rename this. And this will be collect variants. Okay. And we'll call this one collect graphs. Okay. And we'll call this combined. Combined tracks. Okay. Now we're going to add another collect and distribute workflow option here. We'll bring this over here. And what we're going to want to collect and distribute here is the mapping QC reports. So we'll grab the reports, feed it in here. Now, it isn't as simple as just exporting as a workflow output. You can't do that for the reports. What you have to do is you have to combine those reports. So we add an element to be collected, and you'll see the combine reports element there. And then this is what will output the reports. So we're going to use this as workflow output. And we can take this and call this, put it in reports. And instead of calling it by its input name, we'll call this combined reports. Finish there. Now this still has the report within CLC Genomics Workbench, but suppose we wanted to have this some of these reports exported as an Excel file. Well, what you can do here is add an element to be connected, and when you look at the elements, you have these export elements, which are quite useful. So here we're also going to choose an export, say, Excel element, and another window popped up. We choose the default input elements. And then we're going to want to configure this as well. So we open this up and configure it. We'll just use the default name, but we will change the destination to, say, a destination on the desktop called QIAGEN. Select OK. We're going to export all columns, single file, etc. Finish. And then let's save this workflow as... We'll just call this one exporting. So that's what we're doing new here. Exporting report. Okay. So there's our new step, combine reports, collecting, and we'll call this a combine mapping reports, actually. And just for completeness, collect mapping reports. Okay, so I think we're done there. One more save, and let's execute this like we did last time. So we're going to run, take our reads. We'll do all of them so you can see this. See the configuration, we're going to export to QIAGEN. That's a new step in there. We're going to save, and results, new folder, Step 14, exporting reports. Finish. And we'll let this run and be right back. The analysis is finished now, so let's take a look at what happened. Close that workflows, open up 14. So what we did is we added in reports a combined report, and this you can see right here. And if we open up the combined report, we could see it's the QC mapping report, but it's for all the samples combined in one report. And you could scroll down, and one of the more valuable piece of information that I like to use is looking at the percent covered of the genome. So this isn't depth, this is of coverage. This is the percent of the genome that is covered by mapped reads at a threshold that you've determined in your workflow configuration. Now you can, grab these and do something with it out of here, but let's take a look at what we did with exporting. And so if we go back to the workflow, we see that we also exported this into Excel. And here's that Excel file. And if we open up that Excel file, we see an Excel version of that read mapping summary. And we can go down and highlights for some of the outliers. But I like using this reference-based coverage. So like I was saying, instead of copying out of CLC, you could take something right here from your report. We can copy this and export it. And we're going to be using this for some metadata to help with our data sharing. So we'll leave this for here. Let's file, save as, same location. Let's call it metadata. And we will use this in the next video.